Alright guys, big welcome to you all to our channel. We are Team Crushing the Mana, and you're here with d.boy. I'm here for you guys with more reveals, so back with us from the Raging Tactics. This would be part 5, and during the videos we have seen a lot of different cards. For the grade 3s we have seen Bull Spike, we have seen Ban and Drag. I will not go through all of them, but these are the cards that we have talked about and that are already revealed. So for the cards that we have left, we have today 2 cards that are being revealed. The first one is Snapper Devil. Snapper Devil is a great one, a double rare, which has 2 abilities. The first one is on Vanguard. When attacks hit, you draw a card. So that's pretty cool. It's almost the same as the Kagero one, which counter charge as well, or does draws your card if something gets recharged if it's on the Vanguard circle. This guy has an auto ability on Vanguard circle. When it boosts, you may counterblast 1 and you move all of your force markers to that unit that it boosts. So it's pretty good. It's kind of the same as we have seen from the other double rare for Spike with us, which is the Gladiator, but this card works when it boosts. So for the arts, I'm giving it a 4 from 5. Normally I gave it a 3, but looking at the card, and I think it will also be shiny because it's double rare, maybe even the SP of the set. If we get 3 SPs, the same as Glory Justice, then this card would look amazing because of the background, because of the colors of the card. So it's more light than dark, so that's why I think that it's pretty good. It looks like a Toy Story, a Buzz Lightning thingy, but still looks actually pretty cool. And the uses, it's 3 from 5. I do not see this card being used in a Siegfried deck, but could also work because you kind of have to give up counterblast, but at the same time he will always be a very good right target if you go second. If you go first, then you go to kicker, and if not, you go into him. But you have multiple right targets, and his ability on Vanguard circle could work. Sometimes you don't have enough soul for Bull Spike, but you have counterblasts to work with because your Bull Spike does not cost any counterblast. So I do see that this card could work. First of all, I was a little bit skeptical of the card. I thought, well, why giving us yet another card which has kind of the same mechanic? There is really no reason. You could also give us a card who fill the soul, counter charge, soul charge, and with that you kind of could use Bull Spike ability. But now thinking about it, I would rather pay a counterblast, which I do not need, than having to soul charge something from my deck, which could mean I could deck out easier, or I lose some of my important units because I have to soul charge them. So that's why I'm thinking that this card is better than I'm expecting it to be. And again, I will have to test it and see if it fits the deck. But I think that I will play him in the deck that I'm working on right now. For the skill, I'm giving it a 4 from 5. Again, the first ability is amazing. The second ability does work. He does what he needs to do perfectly, which is pretty good. Alright, then, this could work with Bull Spike. I know people would say, well, yeah, if you already have Bull Spike, then there is no reason. But with my testing, I came up to the conclusion if you go Force 2 with Bull Spike, first right target, then you go after that to another Bull Spike, and give like the marker to Bull Spike again, and with that you kind of don't have much soul left. But you could also go in a different way. If you go Bull Spike first, go Force 2, then you go to General Siegfried, and then you give the marker to the other Vanguard. Then you already have 2 Vanguard circles which having the marker. Then there's also no reason to use this card. But let's say you go to Siegfried first, then you go for Force 1. Then you go to Bull Spike, and you have one more Force 1, and then you could swipe your markers. But then after that, if you do not ride, and you do not have like Brachis or Juggernauts to fill up your soul, you are running out of soul to use for Bull Spike. But you have counterblasts left that you could use with Spike Bouncer, and only Spike Bouncer. So that's why I think that this card could be effective then, only then, in that situation. In the deck that I'm using, which I will show it to you very soon. After this video, I will make another one to show you the deck that I'm playing right now and testing. So that's my thoughts about it. One more good thing about this card is it has the hit pressure on the early game. Whenever you ride into him, you attack, already does stuff. But that's also the card that this will replace is Commander Gary Cannon. Commander Gary Cannon does the hit pressure as well. He also flopped the soul, so it would be a hard choice to choose between the two. But Commander Gary Cannon doesn't really plus. He is kind of a 1-for-1, but this card actually just plus. But one downside to this card is that it's only an 8k, so an 8k attacking to your opponent, meaning that your opponent could put a trigger, which is a critical or a heal trigger, and with that they guard the attack and you will not get your pluses. The good thing about that is they will not have counterblasts, which mean that some of their skills will not work, which also mean that they have given up a lot of guard in the early game, which means whenever you go to your bow spike as a first right target and you have the force 2 marker that you will move around, they have less cards to guard with, and that's when this card did its job. But it's a really hard choice to choose between Commander Gary Cannon and this card, but I will have to see which one works better in which deck and which format we are in. Yeah, so it's a good right target. It's actually pretty great in premium, because in premium you don't really have bow spike skill anymore because you kind of stride on the top of it. And with this card you could pay the counterblast to move your markers. The downside to that is that in premium you kind of run out of counterblasts very easy. So we still didn't have a counter charger. I'm not sure why Bushiroad are not giving us a counter charger for Spike, something that we could use as a great one. That could have been better, in my opinion. But to see the cards that we have left, we have one double rare, which will be a grade 3 or a grade 2, and we have one triple rare, which could be a grade 1 or a grade 2. If that is a grade 1 counter charger, then that's perfect. But we'll have to wait and see. Alright, the downside to this card is it costs a counterblast, which means it does not work well with Siegfried, and it does not work too well in premium, because in premium you really cannot use your counterblasts that easily, or otherwise you have to like run a tier or something, but again that doesn't function with the aggro deck. And also yeah, does it or does it not work with Siegfried is a very hard question to answer, because you're giving power to have more power, I guess. Like with Siegfried, you can give Siegfried the power and one of your regards, and with him for the same counterblast you're kind of moving the markers, which has the same effect, but it could also work on the force 2 marker. Like if you go Siegfried first right target and you use force 2, which you normally do not, but you could, I mean in the new deck. In the old deck, yes you could. Then you have like the attack, you attack first with something that has the force 2 marker, then you attack with Siegfried having the hit pressure. If it hits, you restand that with the force 2 marker, and then if the attack do not hit, or even if it hits, at the last battle that you do, you attack with something boosted by this card, and that's when you use his ability to move that force 2 marker to this Vanguard, which means it's still good because you still have your markers on the Vanguard circle, which is good with Siegfried, and then with that you hits again for a high number with having the crits. And what your opponent normally would do is they will take the first attack, or guard the first attack, and then guard the second attack, which is with Siegfried, and then let the third attack go through. But if you already get a critical trigger in your draft check, you give it to the unit that this card is boosting, and then you also use his ability to move that marker, and that unit will already hit for 3 damage, which is a lot to handle, but your opponent would mostly have to let that through. But that's also another scenario that you could use this card. Alright, next card that we have is Big Blow Ted. It's really nice that he has that name, because now we can compare him to Boy, and we have Wonder Boy and we have Ted, Blow Ted, Big Blow Ted. He has the ability, when he's placed, you may put a grade 2 or greater card from your drop zone back to the deck, to the bottom of the deck, and then this unit gets an extra 10k. So for the art, he gets 4 from 5. For the uses, he gets 2 from 5, and the skill 3 from 5. Why does he only get 2 from 5? Because you will always compare him to Wonder Boy. And Wonder Boy is better in a lot of aspects. First, let's talk about standards. Wonder Boy will be played in standard, and this card will not. Because Wonder Boy could put triggers back, and that makes him amazingly good. But people could argue, why not use both? Well, why would you? Would you really need to put that grade 2 or grade 3 back to the deck? Also remember that this guy cannot replace himself, and Wonder Boy does. Wonder Boy fill up the soul. Wonder Boy calls a new one each turn, which gives him an extra 5k. But the thing is, he keep calling himself and filling up the soul, and this card does not do that. If you place it, you activate the ability, and that's it. It's a dead card. That's why for the users in the skill, it gets like 2 and a 3 out of 5. But if you talk about premium, then yes, he's good. Even with Agrius, with placing him 2 times, putting the records that cards from the drop zone back to the bottom of the deck so you could like recall them with Pickerel or with the RGB8, he's good. Also, the power that he gets, the 10k, that's good, because there is something that could replace him, like recall him. And the same goes with the GB8 build. This card could be better than Wonder Boy because he gets more power. The downside is Wonder Boy works with putting your heals back to the deck, which sometimes you have to guard with them early game, or they end up in your damage zone. And sometimes if you go Turbo GB8 and you take first damage heal, then you drive check a heal, you could recover that damage, put it in the drop zone, or when you get 2 times the heal in the damage zone, you could normally just heal the first one and it ended up in the drop zone. Then you use your Wonder Boy, call it, put to the bottom of the deck, and then get it back to your hand with Jelly Beans or your starter. But with that, the Wonder Boy do help a lot with your GB8 build. Then people would argue, why not use both? 8 Wonder Boys. Like 4 copies of him, 4 copies of Wonder Boy. You could, but you don't have the space. You're giving up a lot of good cards to go for this, just a second Wonder Boy. But I could see more. I could see less decks using tier and focusing more on cards that does not need, like Detonate, just need the Soul Blast, does not need Spike Bouncer anymore. So I could see that. I could see people taking out Spike Bouncer to run more copies of this card, more copies of Detonate, and with that you kind of don't really need tier anymore if you're already taking out Spike Bouncer. But yeah, that's kind of it. I don't really see this card used in Sanders, and you will always compare him to Wonder Boy. He's kind of a different way, which is kind of good. I love the rares of this set. They're really good. Alright, that's it for this video. The cards that we have left is 1 triple rare. It could be, I think it's a grade 3. I mean, we already got the grade 3. I think it's a grade 2 or a grade 1. We don't know yet. The one that we have seen from, like, let's say Dimension Police was the Magical Girl, which was also grade 1. So it could be something like that. Or they could give us a new grade 2, which is a triple rare, which normally it is, because now we have also seen 1 more double rare grade 1, and we have a lot of rare grade 1s. So I do think that it's a grade 2, but we'll just have to wait and see. With building the decks right now, like, there are so many cards to work with. It's really a lot of fun to do, even in standard, but even more in premium. Like, you now have 2 choices, like the Wonder Boy and Ted. Like, you could do a lot. But the cards that are left, as I said, it's 1 triple rare, 1 double rare, 0 rares, because we know that the last rare will be a PG, and 2 commons, which I hope we will not get Mega Trainer and yet another starter. I hope that it would be just a a grade 3, maybe. We already got a grade 3, maybe a grade 2 and a grade 1. I don't know. I hope a grade 1 counter charger. That would be amazing. And that's it. Thank you guys for watching. I would love to see you all in the next video. Remember guys, the next video will be a video of me talking about the deck that I'm using the most right now. and whenever we get the cards on area, I could definitely show it to you. But I already reprinted the cards and I'm testing it in real life. Um, it's really a very good working deck, and I'm enjoying it a lot. Again, thanks for watching. Until next time.